Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. We have a packed show for you, with stories ranging from international diplomacy to health concerns. First up, let's take a look at the ongoing efforts by French President Emmanuel Macron to strengthen his country's ties with Africa. Macron is currently in Kenya, where he's attending a summit with over 30 African leaders. The goal of this summit is to diversify Paris's partnerships on the continent and secure new investment deals. During his state visit on Sunday, Macron announced that French shipping group CMA-CGM plans to invest €700 million to modernize a terminal at the Kenyan port of Mombasa. This move is seen as part of France's broader strategy to increase its economic presence in Africa, particularly in the face of growing competition from other global powers. However, it's also worth noting that France has faced criticism in the past for its involvement in African affairs, with some accusing the country of neo-colonialism. In related news, Macron's visit comes at a time when several West African countries are seeking to reduce French influence in the region. Mali, in particular, has been a point of contention, with the country's military junta recently probing soldiers who were working with French forces. We'll be keeping a close eye on these developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. In the meantime, let's switch gears and take a look at some other news from around the world. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're continuing our coverage of global news, and now we turn our attention to a developing story out of Iran. Nobel Peace Prize winner Narges Mohammadi has been moved from a prison in northwest Iran to a hospital in Tehran, where she will receive medical treatment by her own team. This move comes after Mohammadi suffered a heart attack 2 weeks ago, prompting concerns about her health and well-being. Mohammadi, 54, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2023 for her tireless efforts to advance women's rights and abolish the death penalty in Iran. Her imprisonment has been widely criticized by human rights groups and governments around the world who have called on Iranian authorities to release her immediately. According to a statement from the Narges Mohammadi Foundation, which is run by her family, Mohammadi has been granted a suspension of her sentence on heavy bail. However, the foundation notes that this is not enough, as Mohammadi requires permanent and specialized care to address her health needs. It's worth noting that Iran has faced international criticism for its human rights record, particularly with regards to the treatment of prisoners and activists. The country has been rocked by protests in recent months, which have been met with a heavy-handed response from authorities. As we continue to follow this story, it's clear that Mohammadi's case is a complex and multifaceted one, with implications for human rights, women's empowerment, and the rule of law in Iran. We will keep a close eye on developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, we're taking a closer look at the latest developments in Philippine politics. Vice President Sara Duterte has been impeached for the second time by the House of Representatives on allegations of misusing public funds and threatening the lives of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and his wife. The complaints against her will now be passed to the Senate, where she will face trial. If found guilty, Duterte will be banned from public office, which could derail her plans to run for president in 2028. It's worth noting that this is not the first time Sara Duterte has faced impeachment. She was previously impeached on similar grounds last year, but avoided a trial after successfully petitioning the Philippine Supreme Court to declare the move unconstitutional on a technicality. The allegations against her focus on claims of misusing public funds while vice president and as education secretary, as well as bribery and threatening the president and his family. The impeachment vote has been seen as a significant blow to Duterte's presidential ambitions, but it's far from certain that she will be found guilty by the Senate. A conviction in an impeachment trial requires the backing of 2/3 of its 24 members, and analysts point out that Duterte has stronger support in the Senate compared to the lower house. As the situation continues to unfold, we'll be keeping a close eye on developments in the Philippines. The country's political landscape is complex and often contentious, and this latest twist will likely have significant implications for the future of Philippine politics. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.